Hello, my Crystal Loves Texas family. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. And we've got one of our favorite guests in the studio tonight from Accomplished Learning Services. And we have been friends for 2 years now. Yeah. I think about 2 years now, and we found out about this lady and her company from a very good friend of mine, and he said, you've got to meet this organization, the people who are over this organization, because they're really doing some wonderful things in the community. And I said, well, have them give me a call. And that's how we met Miss Sequina Davis and Miss Minnie Jenkins from Accomplished Learning Services. So Sequina, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, Miss Rebecca Williams. Rebecca, my co-host for every week is Rebecca Williams.
Hi.
And we brought Sequina back in tonight because we want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned. And there's not too much we can say this, because it's always going to resonate with someone who may not have seen it the last time. Yes. But Sequina is here because she's going to talk about how people who may need to go back and recover hours or even start back from scratch into high school to get their high school diploma. So Sequina, welcome back, and tell us a little bit about Accomplished Learning Services, and tell us about the two guests we've got in today.
Thank you so much, Crystal, and hello everyone out there. And I just want to let you know that Accomplished Learning Services have been established since 2009.
Wow.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes, and it started off as a tutoring service.
Yes.
For students to help them get tutoring to recover credit in high school.
Credit recovery.
Right.
Yes, credit recovery, yes. And then it just evolved into tutoring to help prepare students for the GED test.
Yeah.
And now we have evolved right now into an accredited adult high school.
That is awesome.
We are so excited. Excited.
That is awesome. And the thing about it is, so many times you hear people talk about, and you hear this all the time, you hear people talk about going back to school. And the first thing that comes to their mind is getting their GED, especially adults.
Yes.
Simply because a lot of people still think that that's the only route to take.
Right.
They just don't, because until you told me that students could go back and have an accelerated program to get their actual high school diploma. And a lot of times, even though
because I thought GED was the only way you could.
Me too, until you told me.
Until you came along.
It's more ways. You can go the route of taking the test for the GED. You also can take the HiSET route, where you can take a test for the HiSET and obtain your high school diploma. And the HiSET test, I actually love that one, because you can answer 20 questions and get 8 right and still pass and get your high school diploma.
Wow.
So there's so many different ways. And then, some students, they need to, go online and do work, and we do all of our work online, and it's virtual. And they can get then we have the high school diploma way, where we evaluate the transcripts and we see what courses that they need. And then they take all their courses online.
That is awesome. So we're going to jump right in and get to meet a couple of your students who were so gracious as to join us tonight, because we always like to get the perspective of the student.
Yes.
That's always good to get, because they're going to be very, very honest.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times your students have gone out into the world. They have families, they have jobs, and they're adulting, they're living life.
Yes.
And they just made a commitment to themselves to come back and say, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, I'm going to do this. So,
yes.
Sequina, let's talk to Zachary first, and then introduce Lainey to us.
Yes. Zachary, he's in Louisiana. He's one of our students. He is graduating in May.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, he is such a mannerable and respectful young man.
Very,
And we
very
are
much
so
so.
excited for him. And
Yes.
his, we're just rooting for him. But he'll be graduating on May 18th, right here. We're gonna
Wow.
have a.
I was at the graduation last year. I
Yes,
came.
and
Yes.
hopefully we'll see you this year.
Yes.
We'll see. But on May 18th, he will be walking that stage with his diploma.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about Lainey.
Now, Lainey, she's our alumni.
Yay.
Yes, and we're so excited.
Congratulations, Lainey.
And she's one of our Colorado graduates.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm gonna let her tell you. And we don't just see them through a high school diploma.
Yes.
We help them with career paths.
Wow.
So we get them. We help them with going to college and everything like that. And Lainey will tell you about her journey with where she went. I won't tell it, Lainey. I'll let you
We'll
tell
let Lainey
your
tell it.
story.
Yeah.
But we also then we help navigate them getting a
Yes.
career path as well. And Zachary, he'll be getting ready to do his career coaching
Wow.
soon because he's in his last classes. And we do career coaching with our students when they
Yes.
get ready to graduate. This is something we started last year and we're going to continue.
Okay.
And we're getting students in either a certification program,
Right.
a 2-year college, 4-year college, whatever they want to do.
That's
we help
awesome.
them navigate that.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yes.
Well, tell us first. I'm going to start with Zachary. Zachary, tell me a little bit about yourself and what your early educational experience was like. Did you
Okay.
like going to school? Was it fun?
And so I'm
Eh,
I'm originally from Oklahoma. I
Okay.
lived in Duncan, and I moved up here to Louisiana to kind of better myself. I ended up getting into a lot of juvenile troubles, and I actually tried to go back to school after
Okay.
I got out of lockup, and
Okay.
they told me my charges was too violent to attend school. So
Wow.
then,
I didn't know
so
that was a thing. You can
hmm
actually X someone out of school.
yes, ma'am.
Wow. So does that differ state to state?
I'm not for sure on that
The
one.
laws are different.
Wow.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I tried to go back, and they basically told me I could go back, but I would
Yeah.
have to restart my whole thing over, and I just kind of wasn't messing with that at all. So
Yeah.
then they told me my only option was GED. Well, I tried GED, and it was like they didn't care, like they was just
Yeah.
there for a paycheck, like that's all they really wanted to do. So I gave up school for a while.
Wow.
And then I came up here to Louisiana,
Yeah.
and my uncle and my grandma, they was really, really encouraging me to go back to school. So I
Right.
did it, and I found this program, and let me tell you what, it's amazing. Especially Miss J, I couldn't do it without her. Like
Yes.
you can
Yes.
you can have a good program, but it takes a really good teacher, and she's amazing.
That is awesome. And what about you, Eleni? What was your early educational experience like? Was it pretty traditional, or did you have some hiccups too?
I definitely had hiccups. I've been in and out of school for quite some time. I pretty much raised my siblings and
Okay.
was
Oh,
one
wow.
of the greats that got pregnant at 18.
Yeah.
So I had a little girl and school was just not really an option. It had to do with work and stuff like
Right.
that. I attempted to get my GED a couple times and I actually met one of my best friends and her mom was friends with Minnie.
Wow.
And Minnie had reached out to me and she was like, listen, we have this program. Your friend has told us about you. I know you've struggled. And they got me in. And I actually kind of stepped away because I was so nervous about everything.
Wow. Okay.
I was also going through a lot as
Yeah.
a single mom, and Colorado just started skyrocketing with bills and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kept pushing it away. And Minnie would reach out like, at minimum, at least once a week and be like, what are you
Oh, she didn't
doing?
give up on
Why are
you.
you not on school? And what can we do? And how can
Yeah.
we help you? And, how can this work better for you? And, I mean, like he said, it takes good teachers, and they did, all of them, everybody. I mean, consistently
Wow.
being on top of it and understanding that life is in the way and that things
Yeah.
happen and it's not easy. It's not easy just to live in general. So it
Exactly.
was really neat. And school was just rough. Yeah. It was in and out kind of thing. So
Well, let me ask you both this. Why did you well, you sort of touched on this. I was going to ask you, why did you decide to go the actual high school diploma route instead of the GED route? Which one is one easier than the other? I would think that the GED route is probably easier.
It just depends
And
on the student.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on how you learn.
Okay.
Definitely how you learn.
Really? So is the GED program more accelerated, or how are they different?
Well, it just depends on sometimes some students are good test takers.
Yeah.
So, and then some, if they've been out of school a while, it may not be advantageous.
Rusty.
So
Yeah.
it's really every student is different. As educators, every student is different and unique in their own way. So it's just we let them choose. We give them the options,
Right.
and we help them navigate which one they feel is best for them. If we feel that they're in like maybe GD or HiSET for a while and they feel frustrated, we may transfer them to the HSD, which is the high school diploma route. And we and some of the students we have scholarships if we need to transfer them over.
Really?
And so they won't have to incur that cost.
Wow. Okay.
So, what are your future educational plans? Will your plans and this is for Lainey and Zachary. What are your future educational plans? Will your plans be better met by showing that you actually graduated and didn't simply take a test? You didn't simply take and pass a GED test.
Go ahead, Zach.
Okay. So my plan after all this is I want to go into HVAC.
Yes.
Heating and air conditioning.
That is,
That's a
especially
good
in the South.
I'm not-
It's hot here.
He'll always work.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So it's just kind of like that's really what I want to do. I've been thinking about it for a couple years now, and that's really what I want to do. But I know you need a high school education for that. So,
Yes. Okay. How about you, Lainey?
So since I've graduated, I officially am CNA certified. So certified nursing assistant. I also am a medical assistant. I received my phlebotomy. I am currently in school full time, reaching for my BSN for nursing.
That's awesome.
And my end goal is surgical NP. So I have officially, I made my plan many, many years ago. And, turning 30, I was like, okay, well, this is when this is supposed to happen. And this is this. And it just has not stopped. It's been
That's awesome.
ongoing since then.
That's awesome. That is. And the thing about it is, a degree in nursing is so different from what it was even 10 years ago, because there's so many fields that nurses can go into, especially in the cosmetic industry. You can open up your own little med spa when they do the lashes and all that neat stuff. And, everybody wants to have a registered nurse that has credibility. Yes. So,
and also, just like teaching, I found out there's a nursing shortage.
There is
a national-wide nursing shortage.
Huge shortage.
Begging people to come into the nursing field. So
It's
you will always
crazy.
work.
I will. I am always working now. So yes, just in general, healthcare is really hurting since everything with the pandemic and stuff. So I think a lot of your older nurses are just really, really tired. They're tired, they're worn, and it was not fair. And like 90% of the stuff they went through. And so it was nice to be able to, still get the end of some of those nurses and work with them and learn things, but then also be a fresh kind of face to healthcare to go in and start something new.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And the thing about it is, after COVID, a lot of nurses were just burned out and exhausted. They actually saw so much that just affected them. And, some things you probably never thought you'd see in nursing. Who thought that we would see another plague in our lifetime? We thought that stuff was gone. But, they saw a lot of mortality.
Yeah, it was a traumatic experience.
Yes, it was.
For a lot
and
of
they just didn't. They didn't bargain for all that at one time with nursing.
And they were overworked and underpaid.
That's right.
Sometimes pulling in 20, 24 hours a day. I have nursing friends.
Yes, me too. I've got a cousin who did
my sisters
a documentary.
And they were just as frustrated as we are.
Yes. Now, both of you guys, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Zachary, this is for you first. Were you ever skeptical about whether or not a program like this one was actually too good to be true?
I mean, yes and no. I'm gonna be honest. So whenever I came here and I was looking for schools, and my grandma and my uncle, we kind of got on the computer and just kind of looking, and it said you can get your high school diploma. I was like, there ain't no way. But then once I actually started to like actually do it, I'm like, all right, yeah, I can see it. And then
Yeah,
whenever I had my first face to face with Miss J, it really clicked in. Then I was like, oh yeah, this is for real. I'm actually gonna get it done.
that's awesome. What about you, Lainey? Tell the truth.
I was pretty skeptical. I mean, it was like my friend that I met, we worked for a towing company, so I was like, I don't know if you know what you're talking about, and how do you know these people, and what are you walking me into? I mean, anything that a best friend would tell you, anyways, you're kind of like, is this a good idea first? So, and then when I got to talking with Minnie about it, and she was like, no, I like it's all this. The only thing you're paying for are your tests. Because I went the high set route. Excuse me. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll do the first kind of semester. And like I said, I was just really unfocused, unmotivated. And when she pulled me back in, it was more, I guess it came more into a light like, hey, these people are really trying to help you. So I need you to get your life together.
Well, let me ask you guys both this. Is this a program that you would recommend to a friend or relative if they were in the same position and they were seeking an alternative high school?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. I've given out multiple things such as like emails and websites for them to go on to and check it out themselves. And I'm a very honest person in myself already,
Yes.
sometimes a little too honest.
Oh,
So
we're in the same boat, boo.
I'm like,
We're in the same
so
boat.
I'm always like, here's information because I already told you. I'm not going to tell you anymore. If you really want to look, if you're really interested, if you're serious about it, don't BS it. Just go in, look it out, and
For yourself.
message
That's right.
somebody. Your first step is messaging somebody. And if it's not right, then it's not right. And they're going to let you know, like, no, we're not this. But
That's
I
right.
was like, I did it. And it took, and I'm in healthcare. And with the way that I look is not always the easiest to get into healthcare. But they were right on it. So it kind of just
Wow.
worked out like that.
Well, guys, let me. I'm going to turn this to Miss Davis and ask her this. Now, Accomplished Learning Services is now fully accredited as a high school
Oh, good
in many
job.
states. In many
Yes.
states in Texas, but you serve many states.
Yes.
Mhm.
And why is this important for potential students to seek out an accredited program?
Well, for the main thing is you want it to be a real school. And if it's
Yeah.
accredited, and especially if you want to go to higher learning, you want to make sure that they're able to receive financial aid.
Mhm.
If it's
Okay.
not an
Yeah.
accredited school and they try to go get grants or anything like that, they will not accept it. Also, state like jobs and things of that, they won't accept a lot of those. When COVID
Wow.
hit, they turned down a lot of people. A lot of people had to come back and get their high school diploma the
Wow.
correct way because there were so many um, adult high schools out there or online high schools. I'm doing the quotes because
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
out there and like charging
Tell it
like
like it is. Yeah.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
ridiculous.
yeah. I remember seeing a lot of those. Yeah.
And they were given,
Oh.
yeah, it was a paper that said diploma and their names on it.
So they really thought they graduated.
And there were
Right.
there was a lot of shady stuff like that going
A
on,
lot.
especially in the mid and the early 2000s. A lot of shady
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
And they were even doing that on the college level. And
Oh,
people were
yes.
telling them that their degrees were absolutely no good.
Right, because it was not accredited. It has to be accredited because you have to be governed down with something. You have to
Yes.
be held accountable with
yes.
something.
Mhm.
So that with having an accreditation, that shows that you are holding your school at a high regard and high standards.
Right.
That you're held accountable. And even with accreditation, you get evaluated. The program gets evaluated. And
Exactly.
everything. They want to make sure that your curriculum is up to par. They want to make sure that you're using
That's
the
awesome.
correct
That's
learning
awesome.
management systems.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. You don't want people to just go get workbooks, make copies, and give you a packet and
Right.
say turn it in and we'll give you a high school diploma. That's just send up a red flag right there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's what, that's why it's important to have an accredited high school, because you want to further your education and you want it to be real.
That's true.
So are certified teachers responsible for all classes or classes online? Or
All classes,
online?
yes, all classes are online.
That's great.
We
Yeah.
do. We offer tutoring, as Zachary and Elaine has also explained. We have tutoring. We have sessions. They are credentialed teachers. Not only that, we have academic advisors, which I'm a career coach into that. We have academic advisors that are assigned to the students to make sure they stay on track. So they're not just sitting in the class not doing their work. So those phone calls and those emails, if they're not getting it from Miss J, they're getting it from Miss Queen. We're on it, because we can go in the learning management system and see if they're doing work when they're
Or
lab
both.
activity.
Oh yeah.
If they did 2 seconds in there, we know you did 2 seconds.
Mhm.
So you can monitor real time.
We monitor.
So you're progress monitoring them as they go along.
That's
yes.
awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
most definitely, until they are done with the program. And if we see them inactive for so many days, we're
You
like,
reach
okay.
out. Yeah.
And me and Ms. Jenkins, we're very down to earth.
Okay.
Because, we're educators,
Yeah.
we're moms, we're grandparents.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a grandparent. And
Yeah, I was getting ready to
but
say what?
yes, I have grown adult children.
Yeah.
But we will. Okay, is something going on? Do we need? Because we'll be the counselor, the encourager.
You're the mom.
that
You're the
we
mom.
we will mother hen them if they need it, whatever they need to help them stay on track.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, you're still lifing every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
need someone to help them along the way. And I think, a lot of students, when they were going to school,
Right.
they was not getting that extra push that they may need.
Right.
But we do. We look at those things to see what's going on. How can we help you get back on track? And we'll text you many times, right, Zachary? and
Yes, ma'am.
So I also have another question for
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
So let's just say you have a young man or a young woman who had to drop out their senior year.
Mhm.
They were like on track to graduate, but for
Right.
whatever reason, life's right.
Yeah.
So they had to drop out for whatever reason, and they literally only had one more year under their
Right.
belt. So how do you tackle a situation like that?
we still take them,
Okay.
even if they have.
Do they have to start from scratch? Or
No.
Do they? Okay.
No, we retrieve their transcript.
Okay.
We actually help them navigate. If they can't get it themselves, we'll
Get it for
navigate
you.
it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because we try to alleviate the stress of it, because they're all
Of
over
course.
the place as it is
Yeah.
at times. And if we can help alleviate that stress of getting that transcript, we help them. We've even given the links. Listen, this is the link. Click on this link and request your transcript. Even if we have to do that, we'll do it.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
once they get the transcript, we evaluate it, and then we go through and see what courses they need.
Okay.
Now we do go by the traditional, the foundational diploma,
Okay.
the 22 credit hours. We go by
Okay.
that foundational diploma plan, and we go through and we make sure that they have everything they need to graduate.
Okay.
And when students find out they only just can take what they need,
That's-
not start
yes,
over, they're
that's
like,
right.
okay,
That's
I
right.
can do that.
Because that's got to be discouraging if you
Mhm.
were a junior getting ready to be a senior and you had to leave and you're told that you got to start as a freshman. I could
Right.
see where that would
Right.
be very
Or if
discouraging.
you, like I said, if you were a senior and you were on track to
Right.
graduate, but
Mhm.
life, and
Right.
now you mean I got to do all of that all
Right.
over again?
And the good thing about it, if you was a senior, with us, you don't have to use a time frame of a year to finish your senior year.
Yeah, tell us
Mm.
about that, because you guys are truly accelerated.
Yes, what we do is we once we evaluate, we see what credits you need, and then we determine what level you are for its grade level, where you are for its credits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so if you leave ninth grade, if you need 9th through 12th, we give you an entire year to do it,
Right.
but we kind of help you along the way, so you won't need a year.
Exactly.
So like every 30 days, you'll get like 3 courses
So
or
you're-
2 courses, depending on each student is different.
yeah.
So I can't say we don't cookie cutter it.
Right.
because everybody learns differently. So
Right.
we kind of give them what they need. That's if they're in the high school diploma plan.
Yes.
For the high set, we have them in another plan where we give them like 90 days or whatever.
Wow.
If they only need 3 tests, we may give them 90 days or 180 days, whatever the case. How many tests they need is what we base their time on.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want them to have to wait
Right.
for the diploma. They
That's
waited
right.
all this time, and
Exactly.
they're being very patient. And they're grown-ups, and they don't want to wait all day to get their
That's
high
right.
school
That's
diploma.
right. That's
So
right.
we help them
Especially
navigate.
when light is urgent that they need
Right.
to move to the next step.
Mhm.
Right, and especially we have like when COVID hit, it's
Yeah.
a lot of students, a lot of adults. I'm saying students, but they're our students, but they're adults. A lot of adults were actually in their profession,
Exactly.
but had to go back and get their high school diploma
Wow.
because they did not have it.
Move.
They were required.
They were required
Gotcha.
for their jobs to have
Wow.
that high school diploma. So
Wow.
that's
But that's great that there's a program like this,
Mhm.
you know, with that kind of situation, because to me, when that kind of monkey wrench is thrown at you,
Mhm.
that's almost thrown at people in order to weed people out,
It
Yes.
is.
because that's
It
not,
is.
yeah, that's not
No,
something that
it
everyone
is.
can just jump and do.
Right,
Right.
exactly. Mhm.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about some of the educators that we're looking at here. That's just
So-
part of your staff, but tell us about that.
Yes, in the middle is
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins. That's our CEO.
That's
Okay.
Miss J that they're talking
Accomplished
about.
Learning Services.
Yes.
That's our queen.
Yes.
They love
So-
her.
And you know what? And
She's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
you have to, because she's a hand-on person.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and
Mhm.
that's what sets us apart.
Yes.
We are for the community, and we reach out and we talk to the students, and we have to have that personable relationship.
And I got to throw this in. That's where I met Mrs. Jenkins at a national night out.
Yeah.
I met her at a national night out.
Right.
Yes. Through one of our friends.
Yes.
Who was all about community. And he said, I got to put you two together.
Was that Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Yes. We're always networking.
Yes.
We work in the community.
Hi,
as
Anthony.
well.
Absolutely. So who are some of the other instructors back there?
Okay, and then
Or
to-
counselors, yeah.
Yes, and to Miss Jenkins' right
Uh-huh.
is Dr. Shirley Smith. She's
Woo!
See, we celebrate on all ends, so we're all in there moving forward. So this is how our students know us, because we share our lives.
Yeah.
But she's also in there working hands-on with the
Wow.
students.
That's awesome.
Yes. And then at the
gentleman?
yes,
and
the
the
gentleman that's Mr. Starr.
Okay.
He's one of our advisors as well. but
Okay.
He typically checks on the students as well.
Okay.
And then in the back,
In the middle?
in the middle,
Yes.
that is Miss Tiffany. She's one of our Miss Tiffany Burke. She's one of our new oncomers.
Instructors.
Yes,
Okay.
and she's been a jewel, and we're very excited. We're getting ready to switch. We're bringing her in to do more academic coaching, because we're growing
Okay.
and we needed some help.
Right.
So we're trying to spread the duties, so we can get, some more of the students in the college and in their career path.
Yeah.
And then to the back, that is Dr. Mosley.
Okay.
And Dr. Mosley, she rests in peace. She
Oh, wow.
passed.
Okay.
But
Oh,
we were honoring her.
Yes.
Yeah, she did. We love her. And
Yes.
she,
I think I met her last year.
You did.
Did-
At the
Yeah.
graduation.
I did.
And
Right.
we're working actually on a project that's very dear to our heart. And
Right.
it was introduced by Dr. Mosley. We're going to be working with the Department of Human Services
Right.
in Louisiana.
Okay.
And we're going to encourage some of their clients to help them get their high school diploma. So
Okay.
that's
Awesome.
that's going to be
That's
huge.
awesome. Okay.
So,
Gotta ask you this, because I know people are they're gonna be contacting us to ask us this.
okay.
All of this sounds really good. It sounds really legit. You got two students who are telling us that it is just the greatest thing that they've
Because
encountered.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You know what I'm going to ask. So how much does all of this cost?
Because I ain't got no money for this.
Okay. Okay.
Same.
So, if you choose to do the HiSit route, which is 5 different tests, and we get you prepared for that, and you still go to class,
Okay.
you still get tutoring, that's $20.
Whoa,
So for-
whoa. Well, stop. I would have believed you if you said 2,000.
No,
How much?
$20.
Okay.
The
And-
appetizers at Papa
What's the
Do's
catch?
cost more than
What's the
$20.
What's the catch? TGI Fridays appetizers cost $20. Yeah.
The catch is we get the joy of seeing our students graduate.
Wow.
We're giving back to the community.
Yes.
Mind you, none of us get paid for this. We
Oh,
do
my.
this. We do get paid. Let me be honest, not monetarily,
Right.
but all of our, all our
Right.
proceeds come from God, of course.
Right.
I'll say that, but
Right.
we do it because we see so many people that do
Right.
not have a high school diploma. My age, I'm
Wow.
46
Yeah.
years old,
Yeah.
and I have people my
Wow.
age
That's right.
and beyond,
That's not
that don't
that's
have
not
it.
odd at all.
and they
That's-
feel like that they can't do it.
Yeah.
It's too
And they feel
late.
that they've been left behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
They feel like it's too late. I've been through too much. They keep putting me through this is what deters people from getting a high school diploma.
That's right.
Too many loops.
That's
too-
right.
too many
Hurdles to
loops
jump through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so, and money is a factor.
That's right.
Right.
It is a factor, and we recognize that. So whatever we can do to alleviate that, we try our best. Now for the GED, for that testing, that's 20. Now we don't pay for the test itself.
Yeah.
That's $39. It doesn't go to us. It goes
Wow.
to the test takers. But for us
Okay.
to help you get you where you need, $20. And then
So,
now,
Sequina, that just I don't know how that could be, because we've got all of these people. These people have got some serious credentials behind them.
well, I know
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
it's a bigger picture,
That's
and we
right.
we know that this is going to be a blessing.
That's right.
Now for the high school diploma route, it charges more
Okay.
because we have to pay for our
Materials, probably.
curriculum.
Yes.
right, not the teachers, but the curriculum.
Right.
We volunteer our time and we
Yeah, so
enjoy it.
It goes back into
Mhm.
the school, pretty
Yes.
much.
Yes. So the
Mhm.
tuition, whatever
for
the,
high school
the,
diploma.
the tuition goes toward the curriculum.
Okay.
So for a high school diploma, if you need like 2 years,
Right.
that's like it's $250, but it's for 2 years worth of education.
Wow.
Wow.
But we have another program that's coming up where we're going to start. We're speaking into this and get
Right.
sponsors so we can start. We already start giving scholarships to certain students that can't afford it.
Yes.
So not saying everybody can't, but that's the avenues we're venturing off.
You don't want it to
into.
be cost prohibitive
No.
to anyone who really wants their diploma.
That's the point.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't want it to be a deterrent.
That's
at
right.
all. But but if you look at it, some schools charge for one class $500.
I know. Yeah.
And we charge that for a whole. I mean, well, we
Program,
don't
the
even
entire
charge
program.
$500
Yeah.
at all. But
Yeah.
like the highest is like $350. But that's if you need all 4
4
years.
years. Yeah.
But then, I mean, they charge $500, but and it,
It's for one class.
For- I know, and it might not even be legit. Like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, like you
that's-
said, all of these people that spent all of their money and then come to find out that it was
Right.
a sham.
yeah.
Yes. But there are schools that it will not adult high school, but there are places they can go get an accredited credit, but it's going to cost
Much more
you
expensive.
500,
Yeah.
600, and
$1,000
that same
probably.
amount.
Right.
That same amount, you can go your whole 4 years.
That's right.
With us and do it. We make it cost effective enough that we're able to pay for our curriculum.
Of course, of
Now,
course.
So Sequina, tell me this: who is your target student? We know that your students, for the most part, are non-traditional because they're adults for
Yes.
the most part.
Mhm.
But who's a prime candidate?
It can be
Well, let me put it like this:
Mhm.
who's your how old was your oldest student who's come through the program?
oh my goodness, they have to be in their 60s.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
So-
good. That's great.
Mhm. And our youngest, I want to say 17.
Okay,
So we do have programs. I mean, we do have things in place, like if there's an under
right.
that has completely withdrawn, because you have to remember, well, you guys know when they turn 18, like we had a student was getting ready to turn 18,
Mhm.
but they were in a 9th grade level. So they
we
Wow.
deal with that
they
all
didn't
the
Yes.
they just the parent just withdrew them.
Oh yeah,
If they have an actual withdrawal from school,
right.
we can take them in like that. But we have to have
Okay.
we have to have the proof of withdrawal, and then they have some consent forms they need to sign.
So what if they just dropped out? Y'all can't
Yeah.
take them if they
if
dropped
they're
out.
underagers, we cannot.
They've got to be an
unless
adult.
They
to
have
come.
to be an adult.
Okay.
But if they are underage, they have to have a withdrawal and a parental consent.
Okay,
That's
I
per
see.
state, because we go through all regulation. We don't cut any corners.
No, I understand. You
Yeah.
want your program to thrive for sure.
Oh yes.
Well,
Mhm.
Zachary, let me ask you this: when you talk to your friends that you grew up with or family members that you grew up with, would you say that a lot of people had told you that you would never graduate?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, well, you got, because so all my charges, like, they're juvenile, you know, so they fell off whenever I turned 18, but I
Yeah.
never got them expunged. So if
Got-
I was to go in a government job, they can still see it. You know what I mean? So like it's not completely off my record. So everybody always kept telling me like you'll never get a job. You'll never proceed in any high school education unless it's a GED. And
Wow.
I really didn't want a GED because I tried it one time and it was just like they didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And you
And I'm
want
not
you want a diploma. Everybody
Right.
wants a diploma if you can get a diploma, right?
I'm not saying all GED programs are like that, but from
Yeah.
my experience with the GED program, it was nothing really. Like they just didn't care. They was just there to get a paycheck. They didn't care if you graduated.
Wow. And you said that you tried a couple of different ones, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. What
This is
about
my fourth time going
really?
back. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Your last time.
Yeah, yeah.
How many times, lady?
I said it's his last time.
That's right. You
Yes.
did it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, lady. Yes.
You did it. And everybody who said that, you need to send them a picture of you walking across that stage.
Oh yeah, I will.
Lainey, let me ask you this. Would you say the same thing? Were there people who said, she's got a daughter now. It's she'll never go back. She's working.
My
She's over
tattoos,
25,
my child, my not so nice attitude sometimes affected that. But I have full neck tattoos.
Uh-huh.
I have full hand tattoos. I
Wow.
had all of these before the age of 18. Everything.
Wow.
And when I had my daughter, that definitely put it in. I worked at Denny's. My daughter and I showered and stuff at the truck stop.
Yeah.
And we lived in the back of the Denny's.
Wow.
And there were many of times that many of people that have not so nice things to say, but definitely like coming into what I'm in now, it was wild. I mean, meeting some of the doctors, you still get pushback from doctors and you get pushback from a lot of the older crowd who isn't so fond about it. But I actually had a gentleman who just retired who I looked up to very much so that would not speak to me for over 2 months because of how I looked and didn't know that I had gotten all my credentials to be a CNA, was in my BSN program, doing everything until he found out that I was in school. So I was leaving like right at 4:00 every day. And he apologized. He was like,
judging
how you looked, I didn't assume. Yeah, he was like, I assumed something so bad and I shouldn't have. He was like, you're an adult and you know what you're doing and you're good at your job and you're trying. And he was like, and that's all that mattered.
And
So,
you know what? And the thing about it is, there's always different ways that you can look at something. When someone looks at you, someone who has a lot of tattoos all over, different types of tattoos, when someone looks at you, you may be that person that encourages someone who may not want to go in to have their health seen about, go in.
Right.
You may make them feel comfortable coming in.
Right.
because of how
Where
you
they
look.
wouldn't have before.
Yeah, most definitely. I can honestly say that not only from, sorry, my computer was dying.
It's okay.
Not only from just that in general, but between Minnie and Dr. Shirley, I almost wanted to cry when you guys were talking about them just because of how they all are. And you as well. I've gotten emails from you and text messages from you. And it was so much that was happening, and thinking that you were so by yourself. And that is something that this school can definitely give you that a lot of schools cannot.
Right.
It's just the community and the love behind it, and knowing, like, I don't know how many times I think I failed the math. I think it was the math. I failed it 3 times. Okay, so it was not just like easy peasy.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, I
Hey.
failed math 3 times, and I think I called Minnie that day in my car, bawling my eyes out, and I was just like, "This is my last subject, and
Yeah.
I cannot do it. Like, I have not passed it. I'm working. I'm still dealing with my kid. Like, I'm struggling. Like, this is a struggle right now." And she
Right.
was like, "Nobody ever said you couldn't do it. Nobody ever. And even if they did, you never told yourself you couldn't do it. So quit telling yourself that now, because you've came
That's
this far." And I remember meeting with Dr. Shirley to eat food, and she was like, "Okay, pull it all out. Let's go over it. What are you looking at?" Like, they just nonstop giving up, nonstop. It was
Wow.
just nonstop.
so let me ask this to both of you, to Lainey and Zachary. Zach, you talk a lot about your support system and how you had that push from uncle and grandma. So Lainey, what support system did you have, if you don't mind me asking? And how, and for the both of you, I'm sorry, second part of it. And for the both of you, was that push what you needed to continue in this journey?
Oh yeah, for sure. If I didn't have my uncle and grandma like constantly like, hey, you need to go back, you need to go back, I wouldn't have gone back because I'd already had it set. Like, I'm just gonna work these side jobs, I'm just gonna kind of do what I got to do, and I'm just gonna live. I kind of just said, excuse my language, but I said screw school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You were
That's how I
frustrated.
felt.
That's
Yeah.
frustration talking. Yeah.
And then kind of it really did help a lot, especially with my grandma, because my grandma means a lot to me. And with her saying, hey, you need to go back, you need to go back, it's worth it. It
Yeah.
definitely is worth it now that I'm doing it. And I'm almost done. And the closer I get, the more excited I get about it. And which is kind of crazy because I've never been excited about school at all.
Wow. So are your relatives coming down for your graduation?
Yeah.
That's great. That is great. And what about your support system, Lainey? What did that look like?
I do have my mom, and my best friend, which,
Great.
just to point out, my best friend is Dr. Shirley's daughter. So
Okay.
it's a wild little thing too. And they were very supportive, but they knew the kind of person that I was. I don't really talk about it. I didn't want to tell people, that I was struggling or what I was doing. I
Yeah.
hadn't passed yet. I hadn't done anything. So I
Right.
usually don't say anything.
Okay.
And every little step, though, my support definitely was all of them. They consistent. Like I said, even little victories of stuff that I didn't want to talk about, they were huge on celebrating, like huge on it. So my thing is I never felt like it was big if it wasn't big. But it was,
Wow.
Same
yeah.
attitude I have sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, for them to just celebrate the little things, I think not only with my mom and my friend, Linnea, they like pushed a lot. And having a daughter who is in school too. So it wasn't just like sitting there stressing over homework by myself. My daughter was doing math and doing social studies, and we were
Yes.
looking at the same stuff. And like I said, though, being by yourself consistently and telling yourself, like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Yes. And no, not always does it feel like it's going very well, or do you feel like you're accomplishing it? Those messages and emails and phone calls of like, hey, you passed your social studies one. Like,
Yeah.
that's a huge thing. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
it's not that big. Like, it's not the whole thing. And they're like,
But you know
no,
what?
it's huge.
Big
Like, you
deal.
yeah, you did this one thing that is a step closer to what you're doing. And that's super important. And so even when I passed my CNA stuff, I passed everything like all at once. I did
Wow.
all before 30. I was like, I have to pass something.
That is
Something
awesome.
to
That's,
give.
that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you guys this.
I
I'm
have
curious. Okay, I'm curious about something. What do the classes look like? Does it look like a big Zoom meeting? Are they one-on-one with the instructor? How does that? Do you get to meet any of your other classmates that you're in class with?
We all talk.
See them?
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, there's different ways. Mine was online through like a Canvas app.
Okay.
Yeah.
All were on the emails. So like if somebody did
Mhm.
really good, we were all like, "Oh, Zach, you killed it!" Like,
Oh
"How
yeah.
about you did this?" or "Good job on that." So I mean, we communicated. Yeah. So it
Also,
was
y'all were
neat.
also
praise
a
them.
huge support system.
Oh, we
I mean, it
praise
was a
them.
support system within a support system.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Monday motivations every Monday.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
send praises out if somebody passed a test.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Everybody messages.
section of the test.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations to this person, or
Huge.
Great.
we make a
That's a huge motivator.
That
Yeah.
That's a huge motivator.
like they're probably tired of us emailing. we do. We hope y'all appreciate it, but we send out a lot of emails because they need to know
That's right.
that we are rooting for them.
That's right.
And we are so proud. Y'all just don't know. We're like proud aunts and parents over
And,
here.
and there's a lot to be. I'm going to let Rebecca ask what she was going to ask, but I've just got to say this, guys. There's a lot to be said for people who seek out a way after they have left a traditional setting to circle back and make sure that they've tied up loose ends, because many more people never do it.
right.
They never do it. And they just kind of resign themselves to the fact that
This is my life.
I'll only go this far. I'll only work in this. But when Zach said he's going to go into HVAC, to me immediately what that said to me was, this is the person who'll probably end up having his own business.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lainey, question for you. How much of an impact, since you brought your daughter up, how much of an impact was your daughter on your decision to go back to school?
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Definitely huge. I just had a small little brown me who has just as much attitude, who has just as much to say,
Yeah.
and just as many things to say and questions. And how am I supposed to look at a mini self and think, oh, well, I didn't graduate, but I still expect you to be in school, and I
Yeah.
still expect you to get good grades, and I still expect you to do these things. And since I've gone to school, I have a 16-year-old that I have full-time too now that I took in, and both of them, we've like sat down and made boards of what our goals are and what we're
Vision
doing.
board. The vision
Oh
board.
yeah, I'm big on that.
I've done those, a few of those. In
I
my
am huge on that. Linnea and I are big on that. So my 11-year-old told me that because I've been back to school, one of her big goals, because mommy wanted to be a doctor, is she has to be a marine biologist.
Wow.
So she can be by the ocean while I save all the people, she'll save all the fish.
Oh, well, guys, listen, we are running out of time quickly. That hour can go fast.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I want to just put this put a bug out there. I want this to be something that Zach thinks about. Zach, your story is very compelling, and there are a lot of young men who are sitting in your shoes right now here in Harris County and Harris County Juvenile, and you said these were your own words. I had some pretty bad charges, but to look at you now and see that you are a young man who's completely done a 180 and who is setting the course in motion to go forward into your career and what your future holds. Have you ever thought, or do you ever go back in and talk to young men in that situation as a mentor?
I've thought about it because, like, whenever I was going through all that juvenile stuff,
Yeah.
I did have a mentor, and he helped me out a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't nothing like, oh, just sit down and talk. Like, we actually went out and did things. Like he took me out to eat or play
Right.
basketball, and we just sat there and we talked. And that's one thing that really, really, truly helped me a lot. Like, open up my
Yes.
mind, because I was 16, I had a lot of bad peers around me,
Right.
and I thought it was cool. I thought,
Yeah.
doing all this stuff was fun. I mean,
Right.
it was in a sense because of my mindset,
But then you had to grow up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then once I grew up and like I friends, they're getting 10, 20 years and I'm sitting
Yeah.
back, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like
That's right.
I don't want to be in a room full of dudes. It's nasty. It's just like, like I want to be out living my life. I don't
Right.
Right.
I don't want to be like that. And like my best friend, he's actually looking at 15 years right now.
Wow.
And he just so institutionalized. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
But
I didn't.
you would be such a great mentor. You'd be such a great mentor.
Thank you.
That's definitely something to think about. But Sequina, let me ask you this. We got 4 minutes. So I want you
Literally.
to tell, I know. I want you to tell people if they are watching, and we'll make sure that we drop this into the chat too. If they're watching, how they can reach out to Accomplished Learning Services if they want to set the course in motion to start working on their high school diploma.
Okay. Well, you can call Accomplished Learning Services at 832-319-8057. And you can also go to our website at accomplishedlearningservices.com and check our Google reviews.
Yeah.
They're not ours. They're Laney's. I don't think Zachary done his job, but
No,
they're
ma'am.
everybody
Do your
else's
Google reviews at
Yes, ma'am.
That's your
Real
assignment
life.
before you graduate. That's your assignment before you
check out the Google
graduate.
reviews,
Yes.
go on Facebook. We do have Accomplished Learning Services on Facebook.
Okay.
I'll rerun our graduation. Graduation is May 18th.
Yes.
And you'll see us live, and you'll actually see students that are graduating
Yes.
from all 3 states. We're
Yes.
excited.
Yes. And is there any plans to go into other states anytime soon, or is the 3 all you can handle right now?
Well,
That's a lot.
we plan to go worldwide.
That's awesome.
Yes, we don't want to limit ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And we are accepting like volunteers who would like to volunteer
Okay.
time to come and help tutor and things of that nature. We accept volunteers. We're all volunteer educators. So if you want to volunteer, you can also email us at accomplishedlearningservices@gmail.com. But we're excited and we're on a mission. And that mission, if we have more people that get an education and get a career path, we'll have less people on the streets without food to eat, without
Right.
clothes on their back. We're trying to set something better for the community. It's not just about, getting their high school diploma. We want
Right.
everybody to be their best selves
Absolutely.
It's a better society
and
as
if-
a whole.
as a whole.
And if someone
Mhm.
wants to, you said that you guys volunteer, but if there's an organization out there that would like to, or an individual that would like to sponsor
Yes.
some students for this program, can
Yes.
they contact you in the same way?
Yes, please do. The same way we are looking for sponsors for students who have the inability to pay.
Right.
And we do accept those, and we wholeheartedly accept all donations that are given to Accomplished Learning Services, and it all goes to Accomplished Learning Services.
That's awesome. So 10% doesn't go there and 20% there.
all of it
all
goes to
goes-
Accomplished Learning Services.
Well, Sequina Davis, Zachary, Laney, Rebecca Williams. This has been an awesome show. And guys, you guys are going to touch a lot of people's lives, because after this gets uploaded to all of the national podcast outlets. And we've got even some watchers now in Belgium and places in the Netherlands, way in other places. But
Hey,
we're gonna
y'all.
and it's definitely on YouTube, and we're definitely going to share this. But thank you guys so much for being here. And like we say every week, Rebecca, Sequina, we can do it. See you later.
Good luck, Zach.